What's up, design family? Welcome back to another episode of Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you back on the channel. On today's episode, we have a little bit of a different topic for you, especially for you fashion entrepreneurs out there that are looking to start your own brands, or let's just say you're in the weeds right now and you're hustling and you're grinding to make it happen for yourself. Well, what is it? It's the importance of physical and mental fitness, especially when building up your brand. Let me take you guys back through my own Fittdesign journey. I've been building this brand over the last 4 to 5 years into what it is today. And ultimately, along the way, for the first 3 to 4 years, I spent every waking hour developing the business, cultivating my team, building the systems in place. And yes, those were a necessary part of the process. But in the meantime, I completely neglected my physical and my mental health. And I justified at the time that I needed every single waking minute that I could spare to build the foundations. And any business person will tell you, yes, that's what you need to do at the beginning. But looking back at it, I could have achieved the exact same results with a bit of a different approach. And honestly, an approach that would have been a lot more healthy and might have even got me there faster. What is it? Well, on today's episode, I'll give you guys my 5 key tips, key areas that I definitely feel that incorporating a strong regimen for your mental and your physical health can actually push you forward, can get you where you need to get faster, more effectively, and honestly, you're just gonna be a lot happier throughout the process. At the end of the day, building a business should be a long process. And why not be able to do this in a way that you can sustain it? You can sustain your own happiness and the happiness of those around you. Well, this is going to be a different episode, so tune in. You guys are in for a good one. One is going to be building the discipline you need. Structuring a strong and effective mental and physical routine into your personal life and your business life, honestly, is going to give you guys the longevity you need. And I remember in the early days, I used to justify the lack of a fitness routine or any form of routine outside of my business world as, I need to spend every single waking minute that I can building this business. Not realizing that, honestly, just as I was pushing back my own personal goals and neglecting myself, I was honestly dropping the ball on my discipline. Yes, I was being disciplined in certain areas of my business life, but at the same time, I wasn't able to achieve that holistic balance all throughout because of a lack of discipline. I could train my disciplinary muscles by actually forcing myself to either go to the gym on days XYZ, scheduling in that hour that no matter what, I would make it happen. At the same time, I would be able to move things around in my life, whether it's going to sleep an hour earlier or going to bed an hour later, making sure that I was allotting the time necessary. So by forcing yourself to implement these regimes, you're actually building up your discipline muscle. You're doing that in 2 ways, from your schedule and in terms of the way that you live your life. Entrepreneurship is not only about business discipline, it's also about disciplines in all areas of your life. Think about this, the entrepreneur that is hustling and they're doing such a good job in their business, but they eat like shit. They drink, they do a lot of habits that don't actually propel them forward. Yes, they're doing disciplinary actions in areas of their life that are good, but at the same time, they're dropping the ball in other areas. So incorporating a fitness routine and sticking to it is actually going to build up those muscles. Not just your physical muscles, but your mental muscles. It's going to give you guys the reinforcement you need day in, day out to say, I'm the sort of person that when I put my mind to something, no matter how hectic life gets, no matter how crazy business gets, I'm going to get every single aspect of my life done. And if I drop the ball once, that's not going to allow me to fall off the horse. I'm gonna get right back on and keep pushing forward. Number 2, and honestly, most importantly, by focusing on your mental and your physical routines and putting that ahead of some of your business goals and your orientations, you allow yourself to do one core thing, and that's to prioritize yourself. For the longest time, I thought that I needed to put everything ahead of my own needs and my own wants. And although I was achieving the things that I've always wanted, business growth, team growth, we're moving offices, I felt a dissatisfaction. I felt truly a little bit unfulfilled. And I realized that this was not sustainable. And only by looking back at older videos, at older photos, at older memories that I've had, I realized that I was consistently deprioritizing myself. And realizing that by deprioritizing myself, I wasn't bringing the best version of myself to my team, to my company, to my family. And there was a disconnect there. By putting my own health fitness, my own mental fitness first, my own physical fitness first, no matter what happened during the day, at least I knew that I checked off 1 or 2 boxes that were meant for me. And by doing that, I could consistently feel a sense of fulfillment that I wasn't feeling before. I felt that I was taking care of myself. I felt that I was actually pushing the needle forward, not only in the business aspect of my life, but in the personal aspect of my life. And not only realizing that, I realized that in order for me to truly give the most that I can to others, I need to give myself first, to build myself up, and to be able to push that version of myself as opposed to the lesser version of myself. And that realization is difficult because prioritizing yourself sounds selfish. It sounds as if you're putting greedy or selfish needs first ahead of the collective needs of others, but you don't want to put a lesser version of yourself out there. Build yourself up first and allow yourself to excel in every area of your life. Number 3 is improved energy. Going to the gym and maintaining a physical and mental fitness routine does 3 things. Number 1, you sleep better. You're actually prioritizing sleep. Instead of getting 4 to 5 hours, you're getting 6 to 7 to 8 hours. And believe me when I say, when you're younger, you can actually put off sleep. You can assume that sleep is something that's unimportant, or sleep is for the weak, or I'll sleep when I die. All these bullshit things that I hear consistently that even at some point I fed myself. But that version of you is a zombie. It's not you. And you honestly don't realize how few people are actually walking around in full capacity. Most people are zoning through life. They're not bringing the versions of themselves that they know they truly can. And that's because of a lack of sleep. At the same time, most entrepreneurs, especially those busy entrepreneurs, they justify a lack of a good diet by the fact that I don't have time. So either they don't eat, or they overeat, or they eat the wrong things. The fuel you're putting in your body, and not to get too scientific, is a fundamental part of how you actually physically perform and how you mentally perform. If you eat horribly, you will perform horribly. Mark my words, I've been there and I've done that. And lastly, by actually moving your body, you're upping your capacity for energy output by actually using your body for what it was made for, pushing it, getting out of that sedentary lifestyle that most of us have fallen into, especially us as fashion entrepreneurs, where we're working in day out, we're designing clothes, we're reviewing tech packs, we're creating samples, we're pushing our marketing. We have so little time to actually get up and do things. By doing this, you're actually moving your body. You're improving your physical alignment and your spiritual alignment. All of this plays into a package where you just feel more alert, you feel more on. Honestly, I look back to some of my older videos in terms of the ways I was getting out my verbal ideas. I have a much stronger sense of physical and mental acuity when I speak, when I communicate ideas. And all this comes from prioritizing sleep, food, and actual physical performance. Number 4 is improved mental clarity and focus. And this is what a good mental and physical routine will do for you. And when I mention mental routine, I'm specifically talking about what I do, which is I meditate and I journal almost every single day. What those 2 activities are going to help you do, and especially if you incorporate them on a day-to-day basis. Number 1, meditation is the process of quietening one's mind and allowing you to focus on something that is core to yourself. Think about your day-to-day, especially as an entrepreneur. You have so many decisions to make, and you have so many conflicting opinions and so many conflicting emotions. By being unable to shut that out, you're bringing a lesser version of yourself to those decisions, to those actions that you're taking. Meditating really allows you to focus your mind and to quiet the external thoughts that are not going to serve you. So few people are really able to shut out the rest of the world and to really focus on 1 or 2 core things. And this is a testament to a bunch of things. The fact that we're always on our phones, the fact that we're expecting the next best thing immediately. We don't have an inability to shut out the rest of the world. We're always expecting stimulation. Meditation allows you to bring that base level down. It allows you to quiet things down. It almost allows you to slow down your reactions. It gives you a superpower that honestly I cannot recommend enough. And it's such a core part of what it is to be an entrepreneur, to make decisions that, number 1, you trust. Number 2, especially if they're going to affect others, are made from a position of strength as opposed to a position of actual weakness, or even, let's just say, hesitation or the inability to focus. Journaling, on the other hand, really allows you to segment your thoughts. Think about this. Think about how many thoughts are swimming on the inside of your head. 99% of them are thoughts that will not serve you. They're thoughts that have no basis in reality or your actual position in life. And by journaling, you're able to dissect those thoughts. you're able to really start to compartmentalize and to reflect on the things that are true and authentic to yourself. And again, this comes back to your decision-making ability. I cannot recommend this enough. And one additional aspect is the idea of gratitude journaling. Being an entrepreneur is tough, and yes, it's very, let's just say, there's a lot of positives to it, especially when you've achieved a certain level of success, but it's a high stress environment and it gets to you sometimes. By being able to consistently reflect on the things that you're thankful for, it switches that mindset from a position of stress, a position of anger, a position of frustration, to a position of understanding, peace, acceptance, and relaxation. And when you're dealing with others, when you're dealing with your team, when you're dealing with investors, when you're dealing with factories, when you're dealing with external sources that you cannot control, understanding that at the end of the day, no matter what happens, there's always something to be thankful for is such a key part of achieving that longevity in your business. If anything, all of these habits are meant to give you longevity. They're meant to put you in the game long term. The last thing you want to be is 40 years old and you're miserable out of your mind. Yes, you have some money, you've made some success, but you're unhappy, you're unfulfilled, and ultimately you're left thinking, what was all this for if not to achieve a fulfillment and a balance and to enhance my life and the lives of others in a way that's holistic? And number 5, when it comes to why you should prioritize a physical fitness routine, especially as a fashion designer, and this is something that really hits home to me. For the longest time, I would never wear any of the pieces that I designed. Can you believe that? I've designed thousands of pieces, and at some point, I just would not feel that my body would do them justice. I wouldn't wear, whether it was my own brand or a client brand, I would not wear the pieces that I designed for fear of making them look bad. I came to that realization, and ultimately, this was a moment where I really started to change the way that I viewed myself and ultimately the balance that I need to create in my life. So having a good physical routine allows you to build a body that you're proud of and a body that you can use to showcase the designs that you toil and troll over. So why not build the best possible mannequin that you can, and why not give yourself the ability to look yourself in the face every day in the clothes you've designed and be proud of what you made. Well guys, that is it. I really want you guys to take these concepts to heart. Really, the discipline that you get is everything. The idea of prioritizing yourself, of putting yourself first so that you can put others in your business first, is such a key concept that I cannot recommend enough. The idea of improved energy, pushing your body to the point where you're able to output more, is so crucial to long-term business success. Improved mental clarity and focus, honestly, I cannot recommend that enough. And lastly, the ability to be proud in the clothes that you've designed and to wear them with an idea of pride, that you're showcasing the very best of the hard work that you put in, both physically and creatively. That's something that I find as absolutely golden. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode, you enjoyed it's a little bit of a different spin, please consider smashing a massive thumbs up. I really recommend all of these points to any entrepreneur or any person that's looking to improve their lives and improving their business at the same time. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Fittdesign TV. Until next week's episode, stay awesome.